But yeah, Alex Pereira, I think one of the best things about him is his jab. That's why I think he's able to control the fight using that jab. My prediction is going to be, after weeks of terrible fight nights, it is here, guys. The moment we've been waiting for, UFC 300. We have been talking about UFC 300, like I said, for over a year on the channel, predicting what the main event would be talking about. That was like the first reference, and now we're finally here. It is crazy, UFC 300 fight week, and I gotta say, I am extremely excited. This card is absolutely stacked, but I want you guys to let me know, what fights do you guys want me to mostly cover, right? I can make videos on specific fights. I plan on making a video predicting all of the fights, so let me know if you guys want a more in-depth analysis about anything. Seriously, guys, I know there's a lot of fun fights. It's gonna be hard. We got a week, but I'm gonna be uploading a lot this whole week and talking about UFC 300, covering it, and of course reacting to the event once it happens. But today we're gonna be predicting the main event between Alex Pereira and Jamahal Hill. Now, I am super excited for this fight. All right, this is a closer fight than I even thought. Honestly, for a while I was like, hey, Pereira is probably going to win this. Then once I started watching some footage, I've been thinking, man, I'm a little bit more 50-50. I'm gonna break down who I think is going to win in this one, as well as what the game plan should be. How is each guy going to win? I plan on also making a video similar to this, breaking down Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. That video will be coming out sometime this week, and we're gonna get into all that and more. But first, I want to remind you guys of the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're almost at 12K, guys. If you guys could just hit the like button, share, comment in the comment section below, and most of all, hit that notification bell, because that helps the algorithm know that you guys like the videos and spreads it to more people. And yeah, like I said, man, UFC 300, this is a big week for combat sports fans. This is a stack card, probably one of the greatest cards that the UFC has ever put on, if we're going to be honest. And yes, I was disappointed by the fact that there wasn't a big mega fight on the main event, right? I think Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler would have been a good main event. This would have been an incredible fight card, but this is still a great card because this main event is very intriguing, right? So if you guys missed it, Jamahal Hill, who last won the light heavyweight championship against Glover Teixeira, was out for about 7 months. There were talks about him fighting Yuri, and all of a sudden the guy tears his Achilles heel, leaving him out of the octagon this whole time. Jamahal Hill vacated his title, letting Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira fight for it. Now, of course, Alex Pereira had a long history going into that fight. Of course, he started off in kickboxing, did not do mixed martial arts, had wins against Israel Adesanya in kickboxing, was a double glory champion. Then he transitions to MMA, sees Israel Adesanya's success and says, hey, I want a piece of that. Gets into the UFC and goes on a 3-fight winning streak, getting him a title shot. Beats Israel Adesanya again for the middleweight title. And of course, in their rematch, we all know Alex Pereira, in my opinion, looked like he was on his way to winning the fight. He had Izzy hurt. He was hurt in the lead leg, and Izzy catches him with a massive right hand, the same shot that he caught him in the first fight, and puts Alex Pereira out. Now, a lot of people at this point are like, hey, what's Alex Pereira's next move? Does he stay at middleweight? Is there a trilogy with Israel Adesanya? The guy moves up to the light heavyweight division about 3 months later, fights Jan Blachowicz, a well-rounded mixed martial artist who can actually incorporate some grappling. And guys, I gotta say this, I might get some hate for this. If we're looking at Alex Pereira's light heavyweight run up until this point, I'm not very impressed, because we get to the Jan Blachowicz fight. In my opinion, I don't know, I just rewatched it. I kind of still think Jan won the fight. It was razor close, and I have no problem with Alex Pereira winning. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a robbery. Just my personal opinion, I think Jan Blachowicz was able to edge out the fight. But regardless, I still don't think that was an impressive performance by any means. And then the Yuri Prochazka fight, in my opinion, was one of the worst performances Alex Pereira has had in the UFC besides his debut, where we saw, in my opinion, Alex Pereira losing the first 2 rounds up until he landed that left hook and got a very early stoppage against Yuri Prochazka. Like, I still think that stoppage was pretty early. Does that necessarily mean I don't think the same result would have happened? No, I do think that at the end of the day that Alex Pereira, if given enough time, would have finished Alex. No, that's not what I'm saying. I do think that Alex Pereira probably would have finished Yuri Prochazka with that amount of time, but that's where we are now. Now, Alex Pereira is the champ, defending it against the former champion Jamahal Hill, ready to return to a title shot. And yeah, this matchup is super interesting because, guys, Jamahal Hill also isn't a guy that has really fought all the way to the top. He kind of got the title shot off of an opportunity. He beat Thiago Santos, who isn't even in the UFC, to get the title shot against Glover. And I will say, he dominated Glover, and that is impressive, all right? Glover was on his way to beating Yuri Prochazka in their fight. So yeah, Jamahal Hill is legit. You can't doubt Jamahal Hill. And let's get into the game plan here. What do I think that each guy needs to do to win this fight? And we're going to start off with Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is the champion, all right? And I feel like that Alex Pereira obviously has to keep this on the feet, but I'm going to throw in a little bit extra in there in a little bit, but we're going to get to that. But yeah, Alex Pereira, I think one of the best things about him is his jab. That's why I think he's able to control the fight using that jab. People aren't really able to counter Alex because that jab is so stunning. I mean, he hit Jan Blachowicz so many times with his jab, and Jan Blachowicz just didn't like the jabs. You could just tell, and it helps control the fight, especially with that low calf kick. He's good at keeping people at range, and I think another strength of his is his footwork. He's hard to track down. He's hard to press up against the cage. The only person to really do that was, in my opinion, Yuri Prochazka, and that's why I thought it was his worst performance. He was up against the cage a lot in that fight, and we saw Yuri have success with the hands as well as the grapple. But I'm getting sidetracked. My point is, though, is because usually he does have very good footwork. Even against Sean Strickland, a guy that usually goes forward, he kept that fight mostly in the center because of his good footwork. And as I just mentioned, Alex Pereira needs to keep off the cage, alright guys? With his style, with his hands down style, the way he rolls punches, he does not want to be caught up against the fence because that is where he'll get teed off on by Jamahal Hill. This is where Jamahal Hill could do very well. He has to use his footwork to get his back off of the octagon. And I think it's even better if Pereira is going forward, if we see Jamahal Hill's back against the cage. And to do that, guys, I've noticed Jamahal Hill usually does go backwards in one specific instance, and that is grappling. I know you guys might be thinking Alex Pereira is a kickboxer. Well, I think that Alex Pereira should try to mix in a takedown at the end of the first round. This is just so Jamahal Hill realizes, hey, grappling is part of the equation. You know, Alex Pereira doesn't even need to land the takedown, right? As long as he attempts it, maybe pushes him against this cage, maybe Jamahal Hill lands it, but Jamahal Hill will be thinking, okay, now I gotta think about some of these takedowns. Maybe that's part of the game plan. And it's not like Jamahal Hill is, you know, a superb grappler. So I do think that it is possible for Alex Pereira to catch him off guard, because let's be honest, no one is expecting Alex Pereira to go for these takedowns. So that's what I would say to Alex, try to mix in some takedowns. So let's talk about Jamahal Hill, alright? Jamahal Hill is very good, alright? He's underrated. I really think that Glover Teixeira fight was the greatest performance Jamahal Hill has ever had in his career. He was just so easily switching stances, and normally he doesn't really do that in his fight. Normally he usually just stays in southpaw. He does switch stances, don't get me wrong, but I felt like he mostly stayed in his opposite stance in that fight. And in this fight, I would advise staying in southpaw for multiple reasons, right? Number one, if you guys notice, when he is in the orthodox stance, his right hand is down, leaving that left hook open. It's just risky. We know that's Alex Pereira's biggest punch. He knocked out Sean Strickland with that, knocked out Israel Adesanya with that, knocked out so many people with that left hook. So he's got to be careful there. And also in the southpaw stance, it kills that outside calf kick. Pereira's probably going to still kick on the inside, maybe use his front leg to kick the outside of the leg, but it makes it a little bit more difficult for Alex Pereira, and it will just help Jamahal Hill in the long run. So I think he should try to stay in the southpaw stance, especially that's his natural stance anyway. And let's talk about the greatest strength of Jamahal Hill, his power. I mean, the guy has knocked out a lot of people. His Jimmy Crute knockout was insane. Like, literally, the first punch he landed literally had a flash knockout effect on Jimmy Crute. And I'm not trying to act like Jimmy Crute is Anderson Silva or anything like that, but I'm just saying that is the power Jamahal Hill has. We've seen it time and time again where Jamahal Hill is able to get these knockouts. So I think, look, he's got to pressure forward, put Alex Pereira's back up against the cage, and land his shots just like how Yuri did. Yuri really put out a good blueprint to beat a guy like Alex Pereira, and I think mixing in the grappling for Jamahal Hill is definitely going to be something that he will do. I do have confidence he's going to go for a takedown, and if he does it early, maybe it could fatigue Pereira a little bit, maybe get him going backwards. It's an interesting fight, and I honestly don't know who is going to win, but I'm going to make my prediction here, and I'm going to explain why. My prediction is going to be Alex Pereira. Honestly, guys, I went back and forth on this. I decided for Jamahal Hill at one point, was for Alex Pereira. Now I'm just like 50-50, but I am feeling pretty confident about this decision. Alex Pereira, I think, has an amazing footwork, and I think that Yuri Prochazka fight was just a really off performance. That is really the performance that makes me question, can he win this fight? Because if he fights the way that he fought against Yuri, I think he'll be in big trouble, but you got to consider, Yuri is a tough guy to fight. Yuri's always throwing feints. He has weird movements, so Alex Pereira is probably backing up because he's like, what the hell is this guy doing? Yuri Prochazka is the type of guy to confuse Alex Pereira, a guy who's had numerous kickboxing fights, and make him go backwards. I don't think Jamahal Hill is that. Jamahal Hill usually throws one shot at a time. I think he's going to use his calf kicks, his jab, to really stay on the outside, really pick at Jamahal Hill, and I think eventually we're going to see him find a shot, and I think he's going to knock out Jamahal Hill, guys. I'm going to say it right here. I think he's going to push Jamahal Hill against the fence. I think he's going to pick him apart, and I think he'll find that one shot and finish Jamahal Hill there. But guys, let me know in the comment section below, who do you guys think is going to win this fight? Now, as always, I'm going to read the top comments from my last video. If you guys missed it, it was about the John Jones drama, him getting arrested, and the whole allegations, breaking down the facts unbiasedly. Go check that out, guys. It's just there's a lot of misinformation out there, but I was careful and I reported the right information. Let's look at the top comments in that video. That's it. Strip Jones. Promote Aspinall to undisputed. I don't know why the UFC is so hell-bent on giving Jones the best send-off possible, despite all the things he has done outside the cage. He may be the GOAT in terms of who has achieved the most in the sport, but he is a horrible representative of the sport. And I felt like you couldn't have said it better. This is absolutely true. I saw some mixed comments kind of saying I was defending John Jones. If you guys watch the video, you guys will see I was not defending John Jones, just because I praise him as a fighter. And I will say, I think he's one of the greatest fighters. I think he's the greatest fighter of all time. But does that make him a good person? Not necessarily, and I don't think he's a good person. I broke that down in the video, but you guys will see the full evidence and everything like that. Jack, how tall are you? I'm about 6 foot, 6'1"-ish. Guys, make sure to leave questions like this, and I'll leave them at the end of these videos like this. I don't care if it has anything to do with the video. I just like to read some of the top comments. So even if you guys just have random questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them at the end of the video. Final comment I want to read. Discord link is invalid. Do you have picks for fight nights or only pay-per-view? If so, where can I find them? So guys, apparently I found out that these Discord links apparently expire. I did not know that these invites expired. I don't know why they do that, so now I'm gonna have to keep changing it every video. I don't know how long this link has been expired for, but yeah, it's rather annoying, guys. I don't know if any of you guys in the Discord could help me out with that. Like I said, I have said time and time again, I'm terrible with Discord. But to answer the latter part of the question, I usually just do pay-per-view picks on the channel. Sometimes I'll do fight night depending on how big the fight night is. And I used to do fight night picks on the channel all the time, but the thing is that you guys seem not to be so interested in it. It seems just not to get a lot of views. So I just take that as you guys not interested. But if you guys do want me to make more fight night picks, comment in the comment section below and go support support those videos so I know. Like, if I see a bunch of comments saying, yo, do the next fight night, whatever, if you guys really want to see that, what's the next fight night anyway? Oh god, Mateus Nicolau versus Alex Pereira. And the video that I'm talking about is on the screen right now. Go click it if you guys missed it. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base MMA. Seriously, guys, I can't believe all the support you guys have been giving me this whole year, and honestly, this whole channel, guys. You guys are so great. I'm very appreciative. Make sure to join the Discord and let me know what videos you want to see for UFC 300. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.